Welcome to the world of female legends of science. We are here to present you the game Female Legends of Science that is created within the Erasmus Plus project Females. The game features female personalities that have contributed substantially in several scientific fields, and the idea of the game is to get to know these personalities in order to empower young girls to get involved in these fields and also young boys to fight stereotypes about women in scientific fields. We have made a game of 50 female personalities, many of which come from the countries of the partners of this project. Now we will explain you how to play the game. You have in the game 3 types of cards. One type of card is the legend cards. The legend cards present the female personality that has contributed a lot in a scientific field and also has confronted the challenges and the stereotypes that a woman faces when involved in science. Here you see the portrait of this personality. Here you see the name of this personality, and here you see small text and with biographical details about this personality. Also, here on the upper part you see scientific field or fields that this personality has contributed. These fields are presented through symbols, but also you can see the name of these fields in this auxiliary card that every player has in front of him in order to get acquainted with the fields and their symbols. The next type of card is the power cards. The power cards have 2 information. One is a special keyword that you will be able to use in order to give power to your legends in order to confront a challenge of the game, and also the number of stars, which indicates the force or the power that this card is offering to this legend. And also the last type of card is the challenge card. The challenge card is the challenges that the game is putting to all players, because this game is played like science does in a cooperative way. Cooperative means that all players try to face the same challenge and win against the game. So, in this challenge, the scientific field is indicated by this symbol, and in this case is chemistry. You can also see the name of the scientific field, and the difficulty of the challenge is indicated by the stars. Here we have a challenge of 4 stars. Now, I will show you how one player, playing with the cards in front of him or herself, is confronting or is winning against one challenge. Let's take the first challenge, which opens here in front of all players. All players, you will see next, we will show around, should look at this challenge and try to win it, but now we'll show you just how you win when you are a certain player contributing to the team of this game. Now, this scientific field in this challenge is about chemistry, as we said. So I have to find in front of me some chemists. The chemists that I have in this case are this one. I see the same symbol here, and this one, which also I see the same symbol here. So in principle I can use both of them, but now whether I use this or other, the one or the other card that I may have in front of me depends on the power cards that I have. each player should have 4 power cards in front of the legend cards. Now, when I have found the 2 cards that are about the scientific field, I have to check in the information of the text whether these keywords appear or are close to what I have in the legend description. And let's see, for example, this case. I have here a scientist that is a chemist, among other things, and that is from Turkey. I see the word Turkey appearing here in the description. It's the origin of this scientist. So I can use this card. But look at this. Here I have the challenge card, which has 4 stars. On the other hand, this card, the power card, gives me just 2 stars. So I have to combine one card where the keyword appears also in the text of the legend with one other card that the keyword may appear or may not appear in the text. For example, this one. You see, in this case, this is about the scientist being born before 1945. Here we have a scientist that is born after 1945. So this card is not well matched with this scientist, but it doesn't matter because I have the other card which is well matched with this scientist. I can use also other cards like this one, which, by the way, is also in the text of this scientist. Is the word first, because this scientist is the first one appointed in an astrobiology professorship. So this word can be also used, but you can use a second word, a second power card, any card, either it has or it doesn't have the keyword. So this is how you win a challenge, because if you have, for example, the case I showed you before, if you have these 2 cards played on this scientist and these as a sum have 4 stars, which is equal or greater than, as in this case, greater than the number of stars of the challenge. The challenge, as you can see, has 4 stars, and here I collect, for example, 5 stars, or I can collect 4 stars, then I win the challenge. Now, this is what each player has to do in each round. So we will go now with a round with a new challenge card to show you what happens within a round. In every round, every player has to look at her or his cards and check whether he or she can win the challenge. When he wins the challenge, when he says that he wins the challenge, he puts the card on top of the scientist and shouts the first name of her. So you will see this happening now in an exemplary round. Before we start the round, let me tell you that in the beginning of the game you have to have these piles of cards separately in the middle of the table, and also draw 6 cards for each player and put them face up so that everyone can see, face up with the personalities and their text to be easily readable. So every player actually has also to check the text and find whether he or she can match the keywords with the text of the scientist. So each one of us has 6 cards in front of him and 4 power cards. Also, each one can have one of these auxiliary cards that show the scientific fields, although it is not important actually in the actual game. You can also, after learning it, put it aside. So we start with a new drawn challenge card. This means that we all simultaneously, as soon as we see the challenge, try to face it. And here it goes. It's about physics and it's a 4 stars challenge. So let's try now all of us to face it, and we see who will find first the match. Effie. Okay.
Maria Gopert-Mayer.
Okay, so you see that we tried, every one of us, to meet this challenge. We all seem to have made it. I will explain you how each one of us made it. And I managed to shout the first name of this scientist first. It's Effie Karagianni. It's a Greek mathematician and physicist. So, how I won? I showed that Effie Karagianni is born in 1965, and I have a power card in front of me that says born after 1945. So this card matches Effie Karagianni as a scientist and her biographical features, and I also used one random card which does not match it. It's before 1945, so this does not match the features of Effie Karagianni, but I still win the challenge because I collect in total 4 stars as the challenge card indicates, which is the minimum that I should collect. Now, let's see how Christophoros won the challenge. Christophoros used a Turkish scientist, Bilge, who was who made the first collaboration between CERN and Turkey, and who was appointed or not appointed. Yes, he was also appointed, but this was not necessary. It could be true or not, but Christophoros, for example, used 2 cards that both match this scientist. This is not necessary, but it's okay to do it. So in this case, Christophoros also wins the challenge, and let's see how Marina won the challenge. Marina won the challenge with another physicist, this time from Germany, Maria Gopert-Mayer, who is a Nobelist, and therefore she used the Nobel Prize card, which is also in the features of this female scientist. Also, she used the before 1945, which is also true for this scientist as she was born in 1906, but it could be also otherwise with a card that it's not necessarily matching this card, as I did. For example, in this case, all of us have won the challenge. So, after each challenge appears, there are 3 cases. One of these, the best one for our team, is what actually happened. To all of us win. Now, in this case, my card, who managed to be shouted first as a name, becomes a super legend. So I put this card face down next to me, and we will count these cards in the end of the game, and our main purpose is to make as many super legend cards as possible. Therefore, collect them, try to make as many as you can, and for this to happen, as you have seen, we should all have won the game. Now, these cards that I have used, the power cards for this scientist, as well as the power cards of the other people that they have used for this scientist, go to the stack. Yeah, you all have to draw this to the stack. Okay, and we all draw 2 new cards to replace in order in the beginning of the round to have all 4 cards. This should be clear before the beginning of the round. You all have 4 power cards in front of you. Now, because also we won the challenge, we win 1 legend card. This card is Amalia Fleming. It's a Greek scientist, established the Greek Foundation for Basic Biological Research, and was appointed president of the Greek Women Scientists Association. She participated in the resistance during World War II and military junta. Advocate of human and women rights. She was the first chair of Greek Amnesty International. So, you see the small biographical details we have about this scientist, and now we decide among us. It's not necessary that I will, for example, as a winner, take this card. This is a cooperative game and has to do with how we will distribute this card now among us. One of us will take it. Actually, this is you can give it to anyone who wants it. But the idea is to check whether you all have this symbol, which is the scientific field that she has contributed, which in this case is medicine, and how many scientists you have about this symbol. And what you have already a lot. Christophoros has a lot, Marina has 2, and I have 1. I also have the less cards. The other thing that you can see is whether you match with one of these cards. But these are all details. We can decide to give this card, for example, to Marina, just to have more opportunities to face a challenge. But this is not the important part. The important part is to understand how you make the end of this round. So this is the end of this round, and now we are ready for the next round to open the next challenge. It's about chemistry, but we will not play it. I will tell you what the possibilities are after a round. So, as I told you, this was the best possibility, that we made the Super Legend card, but there are other possibilities too. Maybe none of us can face the challenge, either because we don't have the scientific field, or because we don't have matching cards with our scientist. If we don't have matching card, we don't win the challenge. Yeah? It's important to win the challenge with matching cards, else you don't win. At least one of the power cards that you use should match with the words of your scientist. So this is the case that now no one wins. In the case that no one wins, we just draw the next challenge. We just have lost the opportunity to win Legend card and to win Super Legend. But there are also other possibilities which are important, one more, which is that some of us win the challenge, but not all of us. In the case that not all of us win the challenge, we cannot win a Super Legend, which, as I have told you, is the basic goal of the game. But on the other hand, since we have won the challenge, we do get the Legend cards that this challenge gives us. So, this is all about this game actually, in the basic scenario that we have designed. So, this is how you play. And we have set 2 goals for you. One goal in the rules is to collect 16 Super Legends. In this case, you have made an epic victory. The other goal is to achieve 10 Super Legends. In this case, you make a significant victory. Less than 10 Super Legends, it's better to play the game again. The more you play the game, the more you will learn about these personalities, their features and their powers, and the easier you will play and the faster you will play. The more also you play, and when you think that you are so advanced, you have made so many epic victories, you have learned about your legend scientists, all of them, 50 of them, and you are super fast in reacting, you can play the advanced game. The advanced game just has 4 differences to the basic game. These are: first, we all have in the beginning just 4 legend cards. That's the word, that you have not so many in the beginning. The second difference is that when you win, but you are not making the super legend, for example, in the scenario we had before, I won the super legend, but also Christophorus won and Maria won. In this case, they take one of the cards that they used on this face down as we say, and they put it on the card of the legend that they have used. This legend, which is now in this configuration, for every next round has 1 star more. So, in some cases you may also win the challenge just by having already this power and putting 1 more, in order not to search for more stuff and so on. This is the idea of prizes. So, this legend becomes a legend that has a prize because she won a challenge before, although not becoming a super legend. And this prize can be used to add additional powers to this legend before you play the next round. And the next two differences are I forgot. You have to put in the stable some cards that have this symbol. This symbol that you see here indicates that these cards are only for the advanced game. So actually, in the game that we just played, which was the basic game, we should have put these cards out of the deck. Okay, so in the preparation of the game, remember, if you play the basic, put these cards out. If you play this part of the game, the advanced, which we do not recommend you to play from the beginning, you have to put these cards in. And these cards may not have a challenge, but may have warring scenarios like you lose 1 legend. So then each player has to lose 1 legend. No, all players decide which one player will lose 1 legend. Yeah? So it's clearly said in the card what will happen when this event arises, which is not a challenge. So, all this about our Female Legends of Science game. I hope you will play it, you will enjoy it, you will learn about these marvelous personalities of females that have so much contributed in science and are so unknown, many of them. I guess you only know 1 or 2. So through this game, at least the people that have played it a lot know a lot more now, and that's the idea of this game, to make you have fun and learn also some important personalities. Thank you for your attention.